Hello, welcome to this webinar DNS name resolution. Continuing. Once again, I am Huzaifa and welcome to ACAS Cloud. So we were discussing about DNS name resolution, and before entering into this session, I just want to tell you something about ACAS Cloud. See, we are ACAS Cloud. We are taking a personalized cloud architect certification from zero to hero, end to end. If you are anybody interested to join to know about ACAS Cloud, please visit our website. So here is acascloud.com. Visit our website. So you can visit our team members and you can check their profiles, who they are, what they are. So that's all about just a simple introduction to ACAS Cloud. Once again, we'll come back to our topic, why we came here, why we joined here. So what I'm trying to tell you is, in previous class we were discussing about primary zone and secondary zone. What is primary zone? Primary zone, a type of a zone which creates directly on the DNS server, and secondary zone is a copy of a primary zone which can use to share the workload balance of the primary server and provide a fault tolerance, which we have implemented this. If you don't know about this secondary zone, primary zone, you please watch our previous video to understand what is primary. So this is a continuity of DNS server configuration, DNS server concepts, so that we have to continue once again. So let us understand what is stub zone here. The next concept to understand what is stub zone. Before entering into stub zone, I have to go to install DNS and create a primary zone. What I do, I will go to DNS manager in one of my PC, which is C1 server 1. In that computer, I will create a new primary zone. I will go with a new primary zone. I will say acascloud.com. In this acascloud.com, we go next and next, then finish. So likewise, you will be having acascloud.com, that is primary zone, and you may have multiple records. You can have a DNS record like this, like www. www is a dot, it's a type of record. This record allows me to 10.0. Just type some IP address 172.16.0.10. I'm just adding some few records to understand what is secondary zone and what is stub zone. And I will add a file server record. File server, I will say 10.0. or 172.30.0.20. So it will be like this. I will add a mail server record, but we don't have any file server, we don't have any mail server, but I'm just adding these records to make you understand how DNS works and how stub zone works. That's all. See, we have a primary zone where we can create records manually as per the requirement. Now let's go for configuration of C2. In C2, this is a PC which needs to be act as a DNS server and act as a secondary zone. I will install secondary zone, install DNS first and make it secondary. To see the real difference between secondary zone and stub zone. Just a minute. If you have any queries, please you can post your questions in this session in the comment session, so that I will answer for your questions. So it is installing. Meanwhile, we will go back to understand what is secondary zone once again. I already told you what is secondary zone. It's a copy of primary zone. Whatever records are there in this primary, all that records will be replicated to secondary zone. This is how secondary zone works. And how stub zone works, that's the point. How stub zone works. See, let me explain you in different way. I just copy. I will have to have like this. You have a server where you want to have a stub zone. If you want to have stub zone, let me make you understand how stub zone works. This is stub zone. What is primary zone? Primary zone, it is a copy of zone that you will have all records, like you will have NS record which automatically created, you have SOA record which automatically created, you can create A record, EA record. I used to create WWA record, I used to create file server record. Excuse me. I will create a WWA record and file server record, and I will create a mail server record. This is also all records in that primary zone. Okay, so now what if I do, if I create a secondary zone of this primary, whatever records are there in secondary which exactly replicated to secondary zone. So when the query comes to this DNS server, it will go and it will read it and it will come back. So it is not going to depend on the primary server when you are resolving to name to IP address. So which means every 15 minutes secondary server contact primary server and get the replica of primary. Whatever changes are made in the primary zone, all the changes will updated in after 15 minutes in secondary zone. It is a default refresh interval. If you are changing the next, if you okay, let's imagine like this. If the DNS server down, if anything happens to this primary server, then you will be having a problem with this. How it is means, you work with the secondary zone till one day, because the refresh interval is 15 minutes, retry interval is 10 minutes. It expires after one day, because secondary zone works without getting replica from primary zone. If everything goes well, then okay. What if primary zone goes down permanently? No problem, still it works for one day. After that, which means within a day, the secondary zone has to be created, or secondary zone has to be converted into primary. This is a choice we have. So what is the problem with the primary and secondary zone? We have to understand in deep dive to understand what is the problem with the primary and secondary zone. See, when you have two zones in two different DNS servers, imagine you have thousands of records. All these records has to replicate. Then once you created a secondary zone, the secondary DNS server will keep on sending a request to primary server for getting the update. For every 15 minutes, for every 15 minutes, secondary zone will get replica copy from primary zone. It will get replicated primary copy from primary zone. So every 15 minutes it's replicating. Every 15 minutes it's replicating. Now the DNS server's traffic will be high because every time it has to go and get the copy. Every time it has to go and get the copy. The replication should be happens between two DNS servers. Okay. Then how stub zone is going to work? See, the stub zone is a concept of something called glue record. A stub zone it contains only glue record. What is glue record? What is glue record? Let's see here. Instead of having all these records, all host records, it is going to have only NS record. This is also known as glue record. Glue record is a type of record in stub zone which contains a complete DNS server name. A complete DNS server name of the primary zone. Stub zone does not contain, I'm repeating once again, stub zone does not contain all host records like secondary. Stub zone contains only one record called glue record. Glue record is nothing but NS record. This is a special record which tells the fully qualified domain name of the primary server. So if any request comes to this DNS server, the stub zone DNS server, what happens, the stub zone will not read it, the whole copy, because it does not have all the records like secondary. It has only one record where the stub zone keep forwarding the traffic to primary server and get response back from primary server and resolve back to client. Are you able to understand what I am trying to say? If you are not able to understand, if you have any query, please comment or post some questions in a question section, in a comment section, so that I can read and respond back to you. So finally, primary zone is a type of zone which creates copies indirectly to the DNS server. Secondary zone is a type of zone, a copy of primary zone. It is read-only zone. We don't have any privilege to modify of secondary zone. And if you go with the stub zone which creates only one record, that record contains the full qualified domain name of the primary server. Don't worry about whatever I am explaining theoretical. I will explain you in practical way so that you will understand. But I have to explain you the concept before going to configuration. So let me show you first what is secondary zone once again, and we'll create a stub zone and see the differences between secondary zone and primary zone and stub zone. So I will go back to secondary server. I will go to tools and click DNS. In the DNS, I'll open DNS console and I am going to create a secondary zone. So you have a look on it. We go here, we go create a new zone, create secondary zone. Next, how to create what command, name akascloud.com, and next yes is missing. Next, DNS name IP address 172.30.0.10 and next finish. Now you will not be able to see the secondary zone because the problem is we were already discussed. Because we have to go zone properties, we click on zone transfers, allow to the following servers 172.30.0.20. so I am allowing the DNS server to read the zone, so that I will go back to SC2. If I refresh this zone, I will be able to read. So if you see this zone, you will have complete information, complete records of the DNS primary zone. Complete. You have everything. You understood, right? You have the same concept. If you want to know in detail about secondary zone, please visit the last video, so that you will understand. I just deleting this secondary zone. Now I'm going to create a stub zone. Creating a stub zone, right click new zone and go next. I'm going to create a stub zone. Stub zone creates a copy of zone that contains only name server, start of authority and possibly glue host A records. A server containing a stub zone is not authoritative of the zone. So before going to create the stub zone, what I have to do, I will go to the primary zone. I have to create a glue record. How to create a glue record? Glue record is nothing but name server record. I will double click on the name server record. Before that, I have to check whether the IP address. Let me create one host record called server 1. Why I am creating server 1? Because server 1 is the DNS server of the ekascloud.com. So 172.30.0.10. This is the IP address of this DNS server. I have to create a host record to create a glue record. This is a host record for creating a glue record. What I will do, I will right click. I will go with double click on this NS record, add. I have to say server 1 resolve. It is resolving this IP address, and go with and say apply and OK. Refresh. Let me check. It is not updated still. Let me go once again. I will double click. I will add a new. I have to say dot ekascloud.com and I will type the 172.30.0.10 and I will click OK. And this new record is added. This is how glue record looks like. See, this is the glue record. And after adding this record, let me create a stub zone copy. I will go to C2. If you don't understand, you have to watch from first. You have to watch many times if you are not understanding here. Let's go to new zone. I am going to create a stub zone. Next zone name ekascloud.com and give next DNS, next the IP address 172.30.0.10 and giving this OK. Next, see, I will be having a stub zone. See, this stub zone, we have only server 1 records, but we don't have any extra record which is created manually in the primary zone. If I create some record, print server with the 172.30.0.50, but I don't have any print server in this concept, but I just creating record for chumma. So when I go here, we'll go back, we'll refresh. I don't see any record is replicated here. You understood? So finally, what I'm trying to say, stub zone is not a zone which copies everything from primary. it is not going to replicate anything from primary to stub zone, but the replication between primary to secondary, okay, there is no replication between primary to secondary stub zone, and it has only one zone, one record, that is called blue record, which is fully qualified domain name of the server. If anybody request regarding zones or record, it obviously send that request to primary server. That's all about stub zone. If you have any queries, please post your questions in comment section so that I will answer. So if you don't have any queries, I will move forward to next concept called forwarders. Understanding forwarders, which means DNS forwarders. It is one of the most important topic in the real time and useful topic. So what is forwarders here? Let's have the scenario. See, we always use scenarios to make the concept clear. Okay, so what I do, let me take this image. I will remove all this. Please wait for it. I'm just removing everything here. I will just remove this. I'll make it primary zone. This is a primary zone, this is primary zone, both are primary servers. Okay, understand, both are primary servers, because this is akashcloud.com, and this is microsoft.com. So I will be having a record of www record for some IP address. You can say 172.30.0.10. Imagine we have 10 IP address here, the same record, and we are having one IP address here, 172.30.0.20. so we are having the DNS record here. So now we have two DNS servers with the two different zone names. How a client, let me bring a client PC in this picture so that we will understand how the conditional forwarders works. And understanding preferred DNS, alternate DNS, and based on that we will understand and forwarders and something. So let's go to understand. We have a concept of preferred DNS. This is a computer's IP address is 30. A computer's IP address is 30, but computer's preferred DNS is IP address is 172.30.0.30. This is a computer's IP address. The IP which we have, that is preferred DNS. Now let us understand how forwarders works. Why we go for forwarders and when we go for alternate DNS. Before entering into this concept, what I have to do, I will go and prepare the computer with a primary zone. I will go to the secondary DNS server. Yeah, here it is. I will delete everything. This is a delete. I delete. So I make server 2 as a simple, which means normal DNS server, and I'm going to create a new zone with a microsoft.com. It is a primary zone. we have two different primary zones now. I will create a new host record called www. IP address is 172.30.0.20, its own IP address. I will go and close. I will go back to C1 and I will I delete this zone properly. I will create a new zone with the name called acastcloud.com once again. After creating this zone, I will create one host record with the www with 172.30.0.10. After all this, after creating everything, we go here and we are creating. Okay, done everything. Now we have to go to client PC. This is a C3 is a client computer. Yes, here. Let it log in. So let's go to client PC. I will go to command prompt. I will check ipconfig. I will say ipconfig. I have this own IP address. I will check the connectivity before entering into the concept. 172.30.0.10. I am getting successful reply. Thank you system1 because for pinging, which is not giving any problem. 172.30.0.20 giving reply. Thank you that computer also, which is not creating any problem to go smooth. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to ping www.acastcloud.com. What happens, what happens? acastcloud.com, no, nothing is going to happen because we don't have any preferred DNS, right? What we have to do, we go to ncpa.cpl, we go to connection, we go to properties, we give the preferred DNS 0.10. This is a preferred DNS. Whose DNS server it is? This is the IP address of first DNS, acastcloud.com DNS. After giving this IP address, what happens? I will be able to resolve www.acastcloud.com name because we had IP address of that's a preferred DNS. You got it, right? So we gave the preferred DNS of this so that this will go to this server and check the DNS record and everything is okay and get response back. And now if I want to resolve the next alternate DNS, how this computer will send query to alternate DNS. So before sending to the alternate DNS, here we have to understand a major concept of DNS responses. The DNS responses, how DNS server responds, and how DNS what are the error messages we have, and how particularly DNS server works. So before entering into forwarders, I'll move forward to next in another few minutes. I will make one concept called DNS server response. DNS server response. There are three types of response from the DNS server. The one is positive response, negative response, authoritative response. Authoritative response and negative response. What is positive response? A positive response. When the positive response comes, let me tell you very clearly, when zone and records are exist, when the both are exist, it will give positive response. So how can we check a positive response? Imagine, let's go here. I will type something like this, what www.acascloud.com. What happens when I type this computer take a query request. It will send a request asking who is www.acascloud.com. What happens? The DNS server checks the zone first and checks the record next. When the zone exists, when the record exists, this server is going to send a response. What the response is going to send? The response is what you are asking, that record IP address is so and so IP address. When DNS client receives positive response from the DNS server, that type of response called answer. So this positive response will have answer section. What is the meaning of answer? We asked the www under Acascloud that server check the zone and resolve that www with this IP address and send back the IP address. When you are getting IP address in your response, that is called positive response. This is how we got in this output. If I go to C3, say I got what I have asked, www under acascloud.com. Query request went and check inside the inside the Acascloud we find www and send the IP address, then communication happens. So this is called positive response. And what to type to get authoritative response? What to get? Let's have a query like this, pinging mail.acascloud.com. What is it? mail.acascloud.com. What is the meaning of this query? Let's go back to understand in detail. See, I am teaching very slow because you have to understand very well. That's my point. Doing fast things is useless if you are not understanding. So if you still not able to understand, please watch this video from the first again so that you will understand. And I plan to do videos on Tamil also. So if you are coming from Tamil Nadu, but most of the students are asking, sir, do videos in Tamil, and hopefully in next week onwards I start doing the same topics in Tamil. You stay on our channel and please visit our one of channel called acascloud.com. In that acascloud.com, if you go here, let me visit and I'll show you immediately, because I thought to show you all this here. If you go to YouTube and search for Acascloud YouTube channel, if you are a Tamil guy, you can watch videos in Tamil, right? But if you are a Urdu guy, if you are Hindi, if you are Malayalam, Georgian, Russian, or Arabic, who you are. So we have videos for all category people, for all languages. So here is our one of the beautiful YouTube channel. Use our channel to make the benefit of your knowledge. And we have Cisco networking, we have AWS, we have Azure, Windows Server, and so many trainers are creating these videos. So this is what I wanted to tell you. These are the very short videos and crystal clear videos. There is no dummy concepts. You directly go, spend 2 minutes time, get all the knowledge of related to technology. You just come out. So I thought to tell this. Okay, fine. We come back to the concept. Back. So where we are in? We are in the place where we are typing this mail.acastcloud.com. What happens? See, understand very clearly, focus on it, don't divert, don't bring anything in your mind. See, now my previous request was www. When www request goes, the primary zone has the record, and that got as a response, that is called positive response. Now we are sending a request with a mail, but we have a zone, but we don't have any record with the mail. We should have a record so that we can get response. Then what happens when we type something which is not there in the DNS zone? So how to resolve this? Let's see what happens. I will go to client and I will enter here. We said ping request could not find. That's okay, fine. That is not an error. What happened, in backend? Sorry, I have to change here. In backend, understand carefully. Request went. Request goes. What is the request? Mail dot. DNS server checks. acastcloud.com exists. www exists. What is the request? Mail. Mail does not exist, which means it will say one error message. What is that error message? The error message is host does not exist. Host, which is name does not exist. Name does not exist. This is an error message which comes under authoritative response. When authoritative response coming? When zone exists, but host, the records are not exist. Understood? When zone exists but hosts are not exist. Host means what? Records. When records are not exist, it's sending authoritative response. It says authoritatively it does not have that record. It's telling that authoritatively it does not have any mail record. Do you understand what I am trying to say? If you don't understand, please, if you have any query, please post your question in the comment section. So mail www resolved because it has a record. Mail does not have, it doesn't have record, that's why it is getting a response. Now how can you see this response? How can you check this response? If you want to see the response, go to client PC. You have to type one command called ipconfig/display DNS. See, what is this command? We were already discussed in the previous session and previous video. You please go and watch that video completely so that you will understand whatever topics which we are bringing from previous video. Display DNS is a cache memory command. See, when I ask my DNS server who is www in acastcloud, my DNS server says, hello Mr. See, this is your IP address, this is my answer. you keep this value till this much seconds. And I asked, who is mail.acascloud.com? It says, hello boss, we don't have any record, so and so. You understand? Let me ask you something. Ping. Ping. Huzaifa.acascloud.com. If I ask you this, what will be your answer? Enter. When I click enter, it is not getting any response, which means I have to go display DNS. If I say display DNS, I am getting that name does not exist. So perfect, understood. So 2 responses. So you have to observe one more thing which I didn't mention. You have to observe what you have to observe is, when the DNS server send positive response, when DNS server send authoritative response, these two responses saves in the DNS client cache. Understand? Save in DNS client cache. Okay, it saves DNS client cache. What does it mean? Whatever DNS server send positive response, the client will save it, store it. Whatever DNS server send authoritative response, it save it. So error message will come into cache. The success message also comes into cache. Then when is negative response comes? That's a challenging question. When negative response comes, what I have to say to get the negative response? What I have to say in DNS client PC to get negative response? Let me type like this: www.microsoft.com. This is my question. Once again, I am asking. Let me check once here. Just a minute. I'll come back. Yes. So you want to know what response? Let me explain you what response will come back. Don't worry. So it will be a new response called negative response. What is negative response? Let's come back. We'll understand little bit deeper. When I ask something to DNS server, when the zone itself not there. Say I'm asking to my DNS server, who is www.microsoft.com? That's a question, right? What is my question is, who is www.microsoft.com? Do you have any Microsoft.com in this DNS server? No. So when we don't have Microsoft.com DNS zone, it will create when we don't have Microsoft.com DNS server zone, just a minute, I'll mark it here. What happened? It'll ask DNS server, who is Microsoft? No Microsoft. When there is no zone exist, when there is no zone in the DNS server, how the DNS server is going to respond? You understand? So it simply send back one error. Still it will send back one error called negative response. When the negative response comes, when zone does not exist, when zone does not exist, it will send negative response. That response comes with one error called server failure. How can I show you the server failure message? Let's have this session in depth. I'll go to DNS server. I just wanted to prove whatever I am telling you. If I prove now, so that you can speak this concept in confidently in your interviews. Just a minute, I want to bring network monitor tool to capture and show you what error message will come when we don't have a zone. Give the minute. I'm going to install network monitor tool here, because you know network monitor tool yes, here is it there. I will go to my folder where we find that network monitor tool. I copy paste. This is from my local computer. So in client PC, I will type one command, ipconfig slash plus DNS. So deleting the cache, everything is deleted. I will go back to C1. In C1, my network monitor tool is ready, so that I can capture and see all the traffic. I will go start capture. I will start capture, and I will go here and go to client PC. So I'll start ping one by one. I'll say ping www.acastcloud.com, acastcloud.com. I'm getting response, and I'll ping Huzaifa.acastcloud.com and ping www.microsoft.com. So with this all responses, I have to show you what is positive response and what is authoritative response and what is negative response. So if I want to show you all this, you have to go to C1. Under C1, I will filter this with a DNS and apply. See here, see very clearly. Let's apply color. I like colors. I will go with purple color. Don't ask why purple color, because Acast Cloud is purple color. See, I request is www.acastcloud.com, giving successful response. This is positive response. This is positive response. This is a proof of concept, POC. And this is query for huzaifa.acastcloud.com. This is name error. What is the name error? The name error coming from name does not exist. So I have requested for www.microsoft.com. 1 2 3 4 5 request came, and finally my DNS server is sending response back with server failure. What is a server failure? A server failure is a message coming from server to client which he does not have any zone with related to Microsoft. When it does not have any zone related to Microsoft, then how can it send response? If you ask CCNP doubt, if you ask Java doubt, if you ask Python doubt, I don't know anything, because that is my server failure response. Okay. So I hope you are very clear. If you are very clear with this, you can hit a like button, so that it gives some energy to me to understand, and it gives some others. That's all about DNS server responses. If I give a quick summary about it, what summary I can give? The DNS server responses, we have positive response, authoritative response, and negative response. In positive response, zone and records are exist. Authoritative response, zone exists, host record does not exist. Negative response, zone does not exist. Based on this, we will understand alternate DNS. Based on that, we will understand forwarders. So here now I don't want to have all this. I just wanted to remove. Now everything is clear. Now tell me what happens if I go and ping. If I go and ping with the www.microsoft.com. If I enter this, what happens? This will send a query to primary DNS server because it has a primary, so it will send primary. So that primary server will send response back is a negative response because it does not have any zone content, right? When the primary DNS server sends negative response, that time only it is going to use alternate DNS computer. Alternate DNS, we have to provide alternate DNS 172.30.0.20. This is alternate DNS, so we will provide alternate DNS. Why we are providing alternate DNS? So that this computer can resolve Microsoft.com also. When the DNS client sends a request, when a DNS client sends a request to alternate DNS server, when primary server sends DNS failure message, then only it goes. Okay, let me go and check. I will go to C3 because C3 has shut down because 2008 computer, every 1 hour it goes to down. We don't have a license for it. Now I cannot make a valid PC. See why I am using 2008. It was just for client purpose, checking. I may have Windows 7 here, I may have Windows 10 here. It is loading. So I'll ask you one question, please answer. When a client PC sends alternate query to alternate DNS server, no? When a client sends alternate DNS server, a query to alternate DNS server, when? Tell me the answer. While logging, tell me. When a client sends alternate DNS query to alternate DNS server. So I'm going to client PC. You didn't give any response. Anyway, when let's go. When 132.172.30. Sorry, 0.20. Okay. Primary does Mr. So many are responding. Mr. Karunamurthy, Syed Bukhari, Gopin, Mohan Babu, all responding. Thank you for your response. And the primary record does not exist or zone. Yes. Mr. Syed, primary does not have zone. Super. If primary fails to resolve, okay, perfect. Mr. Mohan Babu, when negative response comes, perfect. And when primary and secondary configured on client, Senthil Pandi, okay, fine. When primary and secondary, but when primary goes down only, it comes with alternate. Okay, nice. And thank you all for responding because your responses tells this session is live. Okay, after all this, without wasting any time, I will go ping www.microsoft.com. see, if you watch it very clearly, if you don't observe, you please watch this a few seconds, repeatedly. If I first time I will enter, understand carefully. When I put enter here, it will give response in milliseconds. In milliseconds delay. If I enter here, see, it got response some delay. When I ping once again, I will get response immediately. You understand? And Mr. Joseph Paul giving negative, yes, perfect, everything is right, you are fine. So if you watch this few seconds for 2 times or 3 times, you will understand. When I ping with the first time, when I ping with first time, it takes a little bit time to get the response. When I ping for second time, it got immediate response, because what's happening in the background. So what's happening is, when I go to notebook, I will explain you what's happening in the background. When client sends a query to DNS server regarding Microsoft.com, it sends negative response. After that, it's taking alternate DNS to go and get the response from alternate DNS server. Okay. When the second time I ping, what happens is, it is not going back to primary server because it has already in cache. When it is in cache, it directly go to the server and come back and resolve. Sorry. It is in cache. It need not go to server. It resolve in locally, right? You understand the difference between first ping and second ping? With cache and without cache. With cache, fast response. Without cache, slow response. You got it, right? If you got these all options, it is fine with us. Really very happy with you because you are responding well. And if you understood, and it's more useful what I am spending time and energy. So I hope you are very clear about when the preferred DNS, when alternate DNS. I hope we will stop this session here. I used to tell the forwarders, right? Sorry. I used to tell forwarders. Let's go with the forwarders. After forwarders, I will stop the session. I will take, because I thought to explain the forwarders tomorrow. I mean next concept. Forwarders. Okay. Forwarders. What is forwarder? Let us understand what is the problem with the alternate DNS. What is the problem with alternate DNS? See, the problem with alternate DNS, it will send query to DNS server, come back and goes to alternate DNS. So how many computers are there in this network? That many computers will go to first primary server and come back to primary, which means secondary Microsoft. Go here. To reduce the traffic between these two, we bring forwarders. What forwarders? I will explain you here, and I will show you demo in the next session. Instead of configuration as alternate DNS to client PC, we simply go and take this zone into primary server as a forwarder. I will ask primary zone server, if anybody comes with a Microsoft.com, you don't want to send server failure message. Instead of saying server failure message, you take that request and send it to appropriate DNS server. And that appropriate DNS server will send a will response back with you one answer, and take that response and come back with a query and hand over to it. So without having alternate DNS, it is possible to resolve alternate DNS domain name. How it is possible, we will see in the next week. this is enough for session. We will see in the next week. Say as usual, if you are like this session, give a hit like button so that many of us see, and some students, and I would request you to share this video link, share this session to a group whatever you have for IT related, so that they will take the benefit of it and they pass their interviews, they get a clear answers about the DNS and all. So we are going for long term. It is not like short term, taking session for few days and stopping session, not like that. We will take these sessions for a very long time. Okay, thank you all, and keep posting your comment here, whatever comments related to questions, topics. We will answer your all the comments, all the queries. Anyway, thank you all for watching this and attending this session.